Hi there! So today we are going to be doing something a little different, and we are going to be comparing two characters from two different dramas. And this, I think, is a very interesting concept because the two dramas we're going to be discussing were very famous dramas of their time. One, we take Humsafar, and the second is of course Tere. It's weird, but somehow Tere is very reminiscent of Humsafar. And Humsafar, of course, was the OG drama, which was all the rage. People were losing their minds over charismatic, how charismatic Fawad Khan was, and how stunning Mahira was in that drama. But I think with Tere Bin, it's been a similar response, and people have been losing their minds over the actor. I would argue that maybe Humsafar was a better written drama, but overall the storylines seem very similar. Like, they did not want to get married initially, they were forced to get married, they are cousins, there's an involvement of a third cousin who likes the male character, and of course it's sort of proceeding in a similar direction where the wife goes missing or leaves, and in turn, she's expecting, and the guy does not know that she is expecting. And so I think overall this is a very, it's a similar-ish storyline, so it should be interesting to compare these two male characters and sort of figure out who's, well, less of a red flag, I want to say, because Ashar, which was Fawad Khan's character in Humsafar, was a red flag, honestly. But so is Murtasim Khan. As the drama is progressing, people are losing their minds over how terrible Murtasim Khan is as like a person and a husband. But I think it's very interesting. In the last episode, which has just aired, and I was looking at people's tweets, and people were very angry because Murtasim has agreed to marry Haya. And that is when I thought, you know what? Interestingly enough, Ashar never agreed to marry Sarah. He never agreed to marry the girl his mother had chosen for him initially. And that was an interesting thought. And I was like, even though he thought he had been betrayed, his own mother had been against his wife the whole time, but he did not choose to move on with his life because the betrayal of trust was so great for him that he actually just chose to be by himself, chose to be alone and not move on with Sarah, who was actually just ready to jump into marriage and move on with their lives and pretend that Khirad had never even appeared in their lives, which was such a nice contrast, I thought. So I thought these two characters should be very interesting to compare. Now, first of all, we have Murtasim Khan and we have Ashar. So we take Murtasim Khan, and Murtasim Khan is this byproduct of this extremely feudal, backward, regressive system, and this sort of shows in his mindset, in his demeanor, the way he speaks, the way he interacts with women, the way he even interacts with the people around him. He's angry, he is just, he's all about his izzat, it seems, and he holds grudges, and he's shown to be this typical, extremely hyper-masculine man where any sign of weakness, well, not even weakness, any sign of kindness could be used against him. So he is not kind at all, right? He does not care. And he's sort of shown to soften a bit when he sees Meeram and the trauma she goes through when she finds out her parents are not her actual parents and are her adoptive parents. So he seems to soften up a bit. But that regression sort of remains in his head because he's constantly pointing fingers at her and, this element of Rohil, and, he's constantly thinking, she has an affair, when all she wants, all her dreams were around, pursuing a law degree, studying, but he cannot grasp that basically, and he thinks, maybe the reason she is not consenting to moving on with life with me, and just jumping into married life is because she is involved with somebody else, she's in love with somebody else. When it could just be the fact, but he cannot accept that it could just be the fact that the way we've been married to each other, we have just, it's not good for anybody's mental health to be forced into a marriage and to find out everything you knew about your life was a complete lie, right? So that's Murtasim Khan. On the other side, we have Ashar, who is the exact opposite of this character, Murtasim Khan. He's kind, he is highly educated, he's calm, he is never shown to be angry, he seems like an intellectual who, you know, talks to people with respect. And though when he marries Khirat, he does not want to marry her, but he does not also, he's not completely against it, right? He gives her time, he does not get angry, he's a kind-hearted man, right? But there is the fact that he does tend to get a little insecure, which is interesting. He gets insecure because there's an age difference. He thinks when she joins university, she is sort of, you know, going to become friends with people her own age. And then people are constantly ingraining in the background, subconsciously there's something in his head like, what if she falls in love with somebody else? And one of the things, I think I had this conversation with my mother a while back, and I thought, you know what, I said to her, you know what, Humsafar is such a regressive drama. He should have trusted her, right? There's such a lack of communication in that drama. He just doesn't talk to her. And he should actually ask her, you know, did you betray my trust? How could he just, you know, let her leave, and, you know, how could he just live like that thinking that, you know, she left him? He should have gone and talked to her. And she said something which really stuck with me. She said that if a man, or even a woman for that matter, if their mother goes to them and tells them that your significant other is cheating on you, you're going to believe them, right? And I thought about it and I thought, well, it's true, right? So his betrayal came from his own mother, which is what sort of made it worse, right? But then you see him that even though he had been betrayed by his mother, right? And he thought that his wife had left him and was living life with her lover, but he thought she had moved on, right? But he felt the hurt, right? How do you know he truly loved her? He never moved on. He put himself into work. He was just focused on working, and he just chose not to get married again. Even when Sarah was telling him, you know, let's get married, his mother was saying, why don't you get married? His khala was saying, his aunt was all, get married to Sarah. He was like, no, I don't want to. And that right there is the difference, because Murtasim Khan just agreeing to marry Haya, who is technically also the cause of all of this drama, and he knows it. That's again another difference. Ashar did not know that Sarah was involved in the whole drama with Khizr, whereas Murtasim knows that Haya was involved, and he's constantly protecting her. He has been constantly protecting her from the start. And Meerab was insecure about Haya. And now you look back and you think, yeah, she was right. She should have been insecure. But as characters, these are two, in such similar dramas, like such similar storylines, two very different characters, again reacting very differently. So even though I thought, for a very long time, I thought Ashar was this extremely red flag in Humsafar, I'm beginning to think he was less of a red flag, and probably he was like orangish or maybe yellow, and he wasn't so much of a red flag as we have now Murtasim, who is blood red, like it's a bloody flag, it's dripping blood, run. So I hope this was interesting. I just had this random thought, and I thought it would be interesting to compare two characters from different shows, movies, dramas, whatever. So we're gonna do more of these, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.